14, we continue our focus on suicide. One American dies by suicide every 15 minutes. 1 of every 5 suicides is a veteran. There's a special conference being held today in Western Mass to help those understand and try to prevent suicide. And joining us this morning to talk more about it is Major General Mark Graham. Major General Graham, thanks for joining us once again. I learned in the last half hour you lost your son Kevin to suicide. He was in the military. You also lost your son Jeffrey to a roadside bomb less than a year later, 7 months later. Those 2 twin tragedies have led you on a mission to try and help people figure out what it is about suicide and the symptoms that we can see and possibly spot in depression that maybe we can help some people.
Yeah, thanks, Rich. And you know, there are a lot of efforts ongoing throughout the military and the nation, because this is not just a military issue with suicide, it's a national issue. And the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention is doing so much work to assist, as well as the Bay State Hospital, and they're working together. And this conference is to raise awareness for untreated depression and to know there is help. Depression is an illness, but there is help for that illness. And my wife and I missed the warning signs of our son Kevin's depression. It's more than a sad feeling. Kevin was having trouble sleeping. He had told his mom, you know, I just can't think anymore. Those kind of thoughts and those kind of things that come up, we need to be aware of those. Those are warning signs, and it's not something to think, well, that'll go away. You need to get them to help. You get your child to help for something else that was wrong with him. Any other illness or something wrong, you would get them to the best care possible. It's the same with depression. So we just ask people, please get to the best care you can and let the professionals help take care of things.
And when it first happened, and we talked about the suicide stigma involved with that word, essentially, you were reluctant to talk about Kevin. And unfortunately, with Jeff and the roadside bomb, you had lost 2 sons, and you felt like there was something you needed to do. You had to try to make a difference because of the loss for your family.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we speak out for all the Kevins in the world who are out there who don't have a voice, who are out there who need help, who are hurting and don't know where to go. And there's a number you can call, the 1-800 number for suicide prevention. It's a suicide prevention hotline, and they call it a crisis line now. 800-273-TALK, 8255. And 24 hours a day, you can call that number and get help. So I encourage those, if you're out there and if you're having those sad feelings of despair and not knowing what to do and just feeling hopelessness, please call that number and let someone help you.
And you talk about the signs of depression and how important it is to see those warning signs. And you mentioned it was something, unfortunately, you did not see with Kevin.
Yeah, we did not. I mean, we knew Kevin was sad. We knew he was having some trouble. We frankly didn't know, and this was in 2003, that you could die from depression. We didn't know you could die from this, and now people do know you can die from this. It is truly an illness, and our nation's made great strides, and we often talk about those we've lost by suicides, and our hearts go out to all those that have lost a family member by suicide or a friend, and ask them to get involved with helping to raise the awareness of untreated depression and suicide.
And we've seen a relationship with suicide in the military, and yet a lot of the suicides are not combat related. It's not like they were in combat, and because we can understand post-traumatic stress disorder a little bit, but some of these were just basically just the stress, right?
Yeah, I think the stress, and there's so many different factors, and normally what we find is it's not one single thing that will cause a suicide. I mean, there are many things going on in their life, and certainly when there's depression involved, it's an illness. So there's a chemical imbalance and there's some troubles. And again, I'm not a doctor, but we find that there are things out there that you can see that can get people help. So we ask those that are out there, please go get help. It's important. You'd go get help for any other illness. So there's somewhere you can go for this too, and call the number or go see a medical professional.
He's trying to make a difference. Major General Mark Graham is on a mission to make sure another family does not go through the heartbreak. This is what's happening today at the Log Cabin in Holyoke. It's a full-day conference, and Major General Mark Graham will be speaking early this morning. As I mentioned, this conference is sold out, but there's a lot you can learn about suicide and also about Major General Mark Graham's mission. You can read about that online. We'll have that online for us later on today at WWLP.com. Thanks for joining us this morning. We appreciate it, and good luck today.
Thank you, Rich. Appreciate your time.
Next Friday, come home, have a